relationships have so much more violence? They only say that because they're thinking about a relationship where a man might be putting his hands on a woman. They're not including the other side of the equation where women are putting their hands on men and men are not calling the cops.
True, yeah.
Women are very violent. A woman will put her hands on a man. She will hit him, spit in his face, call him all kinds of names, and everything is totally fine. Women are allowed to do this. And nobody should say anything about it. Now, these women they will be in these relationships and they will hit a man and they will take that same behavior and they'll take it to a lesbian relationship.
So I wanted to get into this topic about Princella. I only used one video because I don't feel like doing a bunch of other ones. I know she's got a whole hour and some change long worth of interview of breaking down what it was to be a man for 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? A black man at that, because she was dating a black woman. I'm not going to say the woman's name. I mean, we already know who it is, but I just would rather not cause that kind of strife on my page. But she was running around with Shorty, and I mean, at the end of the day, if you like what you like, you play what you play with, whatever floats your boat. That's none of my business. The issue that I have was, I think about a year ago on the Lapeef Network when she first showed up, all she did was talk shit about brothers over and over and over again. Her whole marketing scam was, oh, men just aren't capable of love, and men are this and that and the third. And I'm like, weren't you married to a dude? And I think I remember on the Lapeef Network when she talked to both Ilkan Ali and Sweeney, and they both was like, so the father of your child's a bad dad. She was like, no, the father of my child's a great man. But she left him. So it was a little weird to me because it's like, she was messing with a dude. She was married to a guy, military woman. I think he was also in the military, loves his child. I don't think he beat on her as far as I'm concerned. She never said anything about him doing anything to her. But it's so weird because it's like, black men were the problem, men were the problem, the typical charade. And then she starts messing with a woman. Now, I remember the whole thing about them being together. I really didn't care. I said, let them do them. They grown, whatever float they boat. And then, bad stuff started coming out about both of them in the relationship. And the reason why I'm not focusing on B. Taylor's situation is because, I said her name. Well, too late now. Is because that's the norm, to make themselves the victims and things like that. But what's weird is Princella actually learned what it was like to be a man for a good minute and realized this is what they deal with. Now, I'm going to try to add a link to the whole interview down below. So if you want to catch the whole interview, I definitely recommend it. But it's crazy to me how we went from men are the problem 100% of the time to damn, this is what they deal with, and it didn't take her but one gay relationship to learn that. But she did bring up something that I really wanted to mention is how, domestic violence in the black community, because let's be honest, it's more prevalent in our community than others as far as numbers and things like that. So let's just go off of that surface level information where the numbers are a lot closer than you think, man to woman. And the other thing that I think is a little wild is she basically had to point it out. Men do not report DV when it's done against them. No, we do not. Most men don't report it. And I honestly believe, especially in this community, based off what we have to deal with, I genuinely believe if men reported DV as soon as it happened, the numbers would be different. And I genuinely believe that. Now, the other problem I have is the fact that, she basically went into other things during this interview and said, yeah, the second she didn't get what she wanted, it was like World War III. And the men are like, I wonder who's been saying that for the last 20 to 30 years. Hilarious, bro. Hilarious. And it's crazy because you can even get that type of incident with women you aren't messing with. I've had this type of thing happen to me with girls I wasn't dealing with, where I didn't give them what they wanted, and all of a sudden I was the emotional punching bag for 5 minutes. I'm like, wait a minute, shorty, I'm not even dealing with you. I never even slept with you, but you treating me like I did, like I owe you something. That's wild, shorty. Damn, my voice is going. But yeah, I just think it's a little funny that Princella, of all women, the queen maker, black men don't write books, all this other stuff. I remember the craziest shit coming out her mouth during that Lapeef episode where she just kind of dipped off because they was checking her, but they was also being a little rude, but they was still checking her. I remember that, John, and it's like it's bad now because now you seeing the women are even saying it themselves. Yo, this is what the men deal with. I have seen multiple women within the last couple of years do videos. I know a Japanese girl, I think her name's like Anna Akana, I believe. She did a video where she was saying, I dated girls and I understand what men deal with now. Like it is a little bit of an issue. The attitude, the entitlement, the flare ups, all of that shit, man. This is crazy. This is what we've been doing to these brothers, and it doesn't surprise me when you think about it because the key point at the end when she said, yeah, if you think about it, she takes what she learned from that heterosexual DV relationship and she brought it into her lesbian relationship when she started disliking men. And that's why the numbers are different when you think that in relationship dynamic of DV, lesbian relationships are the top of the DV list. Aforementioned because of what a Princella just proved my point. Lesbian relationships have higher DV numbers than heterosexual relationships. And I don't want to hear that domestic violence amongst men and women are reported that often because for decades it has always been talked about as man to woman. So I do not want to hear that crap. But it is interesting that same sex relationships among men are lower than heterosexual, I believe, and lesbian relationships. Now, this doesn't take away domestic violence victims that are women from men, because there are some men out there that do some heinous stuff. I'm not even going to go down that road of saying that they don't do it. I'm saying that there's a little bit of a causality and there's a little bit of clarity in the DV conversation, because that's another conversation that has been very one sided for a very, very long time, especially in the black community. I swear to God, the color purple came out. All of a sudden, black men was just beating on women every day. It's like every black man ain't Mister, but every black man who ain't Mister don't got a bunch of baby moms walking around either. So I mean, there's a little bit of a question that we have to ask right there. And the other thing is like, how did we get to this point where y'all could just now women are seeing what men are doing? Oh yeah, because we opened up Pandora's box a little bit more. That's what happened. Answer my own question. So now we got to think. So Princella discovered what men dealt with. What is her content going to be like? Is this the developmental stage? Did she see the light? Is she going to start preaching? You know what? It may not be one sided as we thought it was. Yeah, I would love for that content to start happening. Women going, it ain't just the men beating our ass. We beating their ass too. And sometimes it's mutual combat. That's when we're going to start seeing the shift. And I've been saying this to people out in public, the shift amongst the whole thing going on with men and women and the black community is going to change, because it has to, because all this fallacy been going around for way too long. And I'm gonna say this on other videos. I'm gonna press this narrative. A lot of the problems that the B Dub specifically goes through, they do it to themselves 8 times out of 10. And when I say that, they pick dudes who are already hyper aggressive. And when they date women who are already hyper aggressive. You extra emotional, she extra emotional, you both aggressive. Y'all gonna start swinging on each other because y'all been getting away with hitting people and not getting any consequences, probably the both of you, for way too long. So eventually you meet your match. And the other thing women have realized is when they date other women, they meet their match on instability, irrationality, you know what I'm saying? Bad decision making on both of y'all parts, probably. So we got a lot of things going on. I'm so happy that black men, like every year, there's a bunch of people going viral disrespecting black men, but there's always something that comes out not that long after that to clear black men's name, even if it's just for a little bit. Because now the men who see that go, well, damn, I can walk freely knowing this. And that's what we want. So I think black men deserve a pat on the back because we've been getting put down on DV. No money, no businesses, a bunch of kids out of wedlock, a bunch of kids just walking around, period, beating on people. We got a lot to clear up. But thank God for the Black Manosphere space because it has been proven so many things right. And I'm not saying black women don't have valid complaints. Some black women actually do have valid complaints. There were some solid black women that got did dirty by some dirty behind dudes who claim to be solid. We can't ignore all of those stats because there are men out there who have done it. But then there's also a lot of black men who were being solid who got did dirty just because he was being solid. And I'm so glad it had to come from someone like Princella to really settle in. It had to come from someone like her because her hate for black men and the woman she was messing with hate for black men is what brought them together in the first place. So now she had to see firsthand, even if it wasn't DV, you know what I'm saying? Even if it wasn't DV, but it was just what we have to deal with just because y'all have been told that it's okay. And that was going to be the change. So I hope you had a good time, Princella. I hope this was a coming to Jesus moment for you. I hope this was your wake up call to not be so damn grimy and one sided. And honestly, I hope a lot of men hope for you to change because this is the perfect time for you to switch the narrative, not to put all the blame on black women, but to put the pendulum in the middle where it belongs, where it's always belonged. So I'm hoping that this is your wake up call. I think a lot of people who see this video are probably hoping that too. I hope you see the damn light and I hope you stay in it. Honestly, I hope you go back and fix the family you broke. That's really what you should probably do. Makes you probably appreciate that man a lot more, don't it? Like man, y'all done tuned in with the Black Intellectual. That's all I gotta say on this topic. Y'all see me out here stunting, make they hit that like button, right? You feel me? Comment, subscribe for more, and I'll see y'all on the next one.